I started writing The Little Depressed Boy, well, I originally created the character in junior high. I drew him on the back of a math test, and I just was in love with the character, and I drew him all the time. And Little Depressed Boy was my childhood nickname, because I was a moody child. I grew up reading a lot of autobiographical comics, and I wanted to do that myself, and so I decided to make that character my avatar. I first started doing Little Depressed Boy as a webcomic in 1998. I lasted about a week, and then came back in 2000, and I did it as a webcomic until 5 years ago. When we were doing the webcomic, there wasn't really a storyline, it just kind of meandered. It was just a bunch of disconnected moments. I started wanting to tell longer storylines, and so I talked to my friend Sina about taking over the art full time, and we started writing it as if it were a print comic and still publishing it as a webcomic. And once we had enough pages for a full issue, we did a demo tape, as we called it, and we printed up like 100 copies, and we handed those out, and Eric Stevenson at Image saw it and said, we'll publish this. Sina and I met through our friend Nicholas Brandt, who's a filmmaker. Sina was looking for a comic book colorist, and that's my main gig. Nick introduced us, and I colored Sina's Books with Pictures book. We text a lot. When I send him pages, I tend to send him pages one at a time, because I'm weird like that, and I don't write a full script before I send it to him. And then he will text me the layouts, and then he'll text me the pencils, he'll text me the inks, and I approve all of those, and then he sends me the high resolution files, then I color them. Well, as for Drew Blood and TV Head Jimmy, those are good friends of mine. I just was too lazy to create a pastiche character based on them. When it comes to the bands like Childish Gambino or Lemuria or Andrew Jackson Jihad or Kepi Ghoulie, I either already know the band, or it's my intro to getting to know the band, is I contact them and ask them if they would like to appear in the comic, and so far I haven't received a single no. I got into coloring because I wanted to be a writer, and I was going to start my own comic book company with my brother, but I realized we didn't have anybody to color the comics, so I taught myself how to color, and then that became my main gig. I hate to write. I love the end product of writing, but the process is painful. It's like tearing up your soul into little pieces to write, but there's no way I'm ever going to stop doing it. I love to color because it involves no thought, and I love lettering because I don't get to do it enough. Well, I've never written for Marvel or DC. I hear they pay very well, but since I work through Image, I get complete control of my book. I have an editor on my book, but I hired my own editor. And so if he suggests an edit I don't care for, I just tell him no. I just do what I want. So I get free creative reign at Image, and it's amazing. It's not hard to stay in the same mindset because I do suffer from depression. And, you know, it's a chemical imbalance in my brain that I'm not in control of. And so I will always suffer from this, and I will always feel a little alienated in every situation, and I will always have anxiety dealing with people. So I do not see the story really changing. The book has been really therapeutic to work on because I it helps where I can look from someone else's angle. Because when I'm writing them, you know, for instance, the jazz character, you know, that's all literally taken from my life. And to look at our relationship from her point of view and realize that she wasn't doing anything to hurt me, even though she did end up hurting me, you know, it's helped me to forgive that person and move on. No matter where you're at, the experience is the same. Every teenager lives in a town where they think nothing's happening. You could live in New York or LA and, oh, there's nothing going on. So every town feels like a small town. It amazes me. Someone from South America sent me a letter about how much it made them think of their life in their 20s. And, you know, their country was going through a revolution at the time, but still they were able to identify with what was going on. We seem to be pretty popular in Russia. I'm on Instagram all the time, and I find like some Russian person posting about it, and I always have to respond and say, thank you for reading the book. Sorry for responding in English. I love going to conventions. They're, you know, it's great to actually meet the people who read my book, you know, because, you know, if they like my character, they're most likely going to like me as a person, and essentially it's a great way to make new friends. The dirty little secret with the book is that the main theme of it is you are not alone, but I'm not talking to the readers, I'm talking to myself, and the readers are the ones that tell me that that is correct, that I am not alone in my experiences.